Good evening and welcome to Matchday Live here on LUTV. Leeds United, the first of these 2 away games in the space of just a few days to hopefully keep the Christmas cheer going for just a little bit longer. A trip to Stoke tonight, see if we can take 3 points to put us back to the top of the Sky Bet Championship table. This game is available in selected territories with a Matchday pass held to the LUTV website to get yours right now. Joining me is a former skipper for both teams, right?
Yeah.
Who managed promotion with our opponents tonight. A very warm, festive welcome to Don Matteo, who's put down the mince pies for a little bit of football tonight. Good Christmas?
Lovely Christmas. Mum and Dad are over. Great, yeah. All the family, so perfect. Brother-in-law, sister-in-law, yeah. Kids, family, games, the usual kind of shenanigans, few drinks. It was great.
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
And of course tonight it's back to the football, the little break. We know that people love the turkey and the mince pies, and then they want to get their head into a little bit of football, and that's what we got tonight. And a really big opportunity, and these 2 away games where we're going to look to hopefully take as many points as possible.
Yeah, listen, the last performance, brilliant at home, as we know, was so strong. But again, I think there's been question marks with our away form. We know that. Can we put that right tonight? I think we can. I really think we can. The way we played in the last game was absolutely outstanding. Conditions weren't great, but we made it work. It could have been a lot more. Can we be a little bit more clinical if I'm going to be critical? Yes, I think we can. So when we get our opportunities tonight against Stoke, let's make sure we put them in the back of the net, because we will get chances. And again, can we score first and go again and get the next one? I think there's a couple of little things that we need to work on, and that's one.
Ethan Ampadu there leading the team in tonight. It is an interesting one tonight because we knew that a lot of the teams at the top are going to be playing each other. We know that points are going to be dropped, and that's exactly what's happened today. Let's just go through it, Don. We know that Sheffield United have lost today to Burnley. Burnley move up to second. Sheffield United at the top of the table. Actually puts us temporarily, at least, into third place. Sunderland have drawn. Middlesbrough have drawn. West Brom have just lost at Derby. Our next opponents away, worth mentioning as well. Yeah. Points have been dropped. This is an opportunity for the first time for Leeds, not just to go outright to the top of the table, but to go there without another team having a game in hand, and to go there on merit just to be sat at the top of the tree. Yeah,
no, obviously the manager won't be saying that. He'll just go out there and perform. That's what he'll be saying. But I think as a player, sometimes you are thinking a little bit further forward, thinking, win tonight, win again, we're top. But I think as a player, you can't really get carried away with that, because all you concentrate at this moment is winning this game, making sure you do your basics right, do perform well. That's all you can do. But you just need your teammates around you as well, because everyone will probably had a nice little Christmas, not like we've had, me and you, Rich. We've had a bit of a crazy-ish one, but I think for them lads now, it's back to business, and this is the business end now. Going into these next few games, there's plenty of games coming up, and it's just the business end of the football world. And if we get this result tonight, we go top of the league, and how nice would that be? Yeah,
the look focus, as you would imagine, coming in here for this game tonight. So you're saying, but I need to work on my team talk then for the team. Then would they not be? I know it sounds silly, but like you say, they'll know about those results. It's that extra little bit of carrot, isn't it? Just to say, come on, let's do this. We've got the opportunity.
Well, I've always talked about leaders when I'm working at Leeds. I've always talked about we need the leaders. Ampadu's back, leader, captain, back in the team. So I think for me, we need people like that to stand up. If it's not going as well as if we start and it's not going right, we need them other key players, key leaders to stand up and be counted. And I think possibly that's the reason why he's been back in the team earlier than what we probably anticipated.
Yeah, well, in terms of the team news tonight, Pascal Struijk returns to the team. It's Altanaka who makes way on the bench, which means Ethan Ampadu, of course, is playing as well. That's the one change from the Oxford game. So looking at that, we would assume Pascal goes straight back into central defence alongside Joe Rodon. It's Ethan who'll go from central defence as he played when he's played against that Oxford game. He will go into that midfield role alongside Joe Rothwell.
Yeah, just maybe is that because he's a little bit more defensive, because we know he's good at centre half as well. He can play either position. But are we away? I mean, I feel sorry for Tanaka because he's been so good, hasn't he? And really good. And Rothwell's been so good. So it's just for me, it's a slight change. I bet the fans are a little bit surprised with that change because he has been so good. But the manager's got to manage the whole team and all the players. We don't know if he's had a slight knock or not. So I think the manager is obviously, it's a really crucial point of the season for every club. And he's got to make sure that the players I think it's about the energy you need now for this. We look at the weather out there now. We know when it's like this at Stoke, it's going to be tough, physical, gritty, and you've got to pick a team that's going to understand what they have to do in a game like this, which is look after yourself on the football pitch. We don't use that phrase much. That was the last thing I used to say to the team when I was captain of Leeds United. Go out there and look after yourself and look after each other. And if we have that kind of mindset tonight, I feel like we'll go and do it.
Ethan Ampadu back in the team is just generally such a boost, isn't it? And when you say that word leader, we know how influential he's been since he's joined the club. I mean, he really is a standout player for Leeds. So to have him there, and also for Daniel Farke to have at his disposal options.
Yes.
Now there aren't many teams in the Sky Bet Championship who have the kind of options. And we talk about on the wings as well. Manor Solomon and Dan James get the nod again tonight, same as against Oxford, but they're playing well. They've earned their right, haven't they? But he has got options in these positions.
Yeah, we're fairly fortunate on the amount of players we have in our squad, and the depth of our squad's really, really good. And I think when people come into the team now, they want to stay in that team. I know because we've talked about it, having to make changes because we've got a lot of games coming up. I'd be fuming, me being honest. I wanted to play every single game when I was out there because you get some kind of momentum going as a footballer, especially when you play at the back or in midfield. You've got momentum. You want the games to come thick and fast, but obviously it's a different era from when I played. So obviously the managers are obviously a different process now, where they have to look at all the data and all that stuff. We didn't have data in our day. We just have to go out there. How are you feeling? I'm all right. Well, right, you're playing. That's how it kind of was. So you have to understand it from Daniel Farke and his team point of view as well, why people might need a little rest if someone's had a little knock. In our day, you just get on with it because you want to play and you want to keep your place. But again, it's a different generation, different way of thinking, different managers, they're doing different stuff. But it's all about the tech now as well. You look at every little fine detail. Whereas I generally mean it, if you wanted to play, just when I say you fit, that's what happened, and you go out and play.
I would have loved to have seen the Don Matteo data graph from back in the day had that existed, but we'll never know what it said. We will never know, Dom, unfortunately. Okay, let's get some thoughts ahead of tonight's match. We'll start with one of the starting 11. He's been banging in a fair few goals for Leeds. Let's hope he can do it again tonight. Here's the thoughts of Joel Piroux.
Well, Joel, here we are with a game away at Stoke City. This is always described as being a tough fixture. Is that how you look at it?
Well, to be honest, most of the fixtures are tough anyway, but yes, it's always been a tough game away at Stoke. We just have to make sure we win.
Home form's been really good. Away form still needs a bit of improvement. Can you start that tonight?
Yes, definitely. I think we should back ourselves that we can start, because we know that we needed to work on it as well, especially how we started games and away games. But I think today is a good day to improve that.
It's really tight at the top. You've seen results elsewhere this afternoon. Is that increasing the pressure on every one of the Leeds games?
No, I don't think it really increases the pressure, but makes you more aware of what's on the line as well, and should help us to give even more than 100%.
Joel Piroux will look to be instrumental tonight. Hopefully, if Leeds can travel to Stoke and get the points that will see them back to the top of the Sky Bet Championship table. And of course, that comes off the back, Tom, on a really impressive win here at Elland Road against a team, with all due respect to Oxford, who have been struggling. They're at the wrong end of the table, but so is Stoke, of course. Yeah. But how impressed were you that not only did they win it, but they did it in the end, especially in that second half, in some style?
They did do it in some style. I think everyone was at it, and when you. Obviously, everyone's cup final when they come to Elland Road. Let's be honest, that's the truth. And they found it really difficult. But I think we started quickly again. We got on the front foot early. We made things happen. The fans were excited. We know it's around Christmas. The fans always get happy. But it was just nice to give the fans a really, really thorough performance before we got into the next few games. But I was working obviously at Leeds like yourself, and it was one of those games where we've seen the conditions, the weather, it was wind everywhere, but we went out and did a professional job, and that's what you've got to do week in, week out. It's about that consistency. We've got it at home. We need to transform that into both home and away now, if we want to make sure we have a charge in this championship this year. Yeah,
and in terms of the goals as well, we can take a look at how the game unfolded. Confidence to put four past the team. We haven't actually. We know we scored ones, twos, and sometimes threes, but to actually go and put four past the team. And Matteo Solomon here. We talked about the wingers keeping their place. How good a bit of play was that to get it going?
Solomon's obviously. He's got unbelievable ability, lots of pace, but he's picked a pass out. Some people would have shot from there. And the one thing again, Dan James on the end of it. Dan James at the moment, his energy-wise and his positional, the way he's playing and putting himself in these positions, it takes a lot of energy. And by the way, he's so fit, isn't he, Dan James? The way he's the pace that he Solomon there as it comes in, Dan James tapping, but you have to be there. So that's another side of his game at the moment as well.
There was a point, after half-time, you're thinking, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Oxford had sort of half glimpses, and then the moment really that set off this run of, I think it was 3 goals in about 18 minutes. Jaden Bogle getting on the end of one. Some really nice build-up play in that as well, and Aronson involved, and just some nice stuff there. Yeah,
Aronson, we know, a clever footballer. He always seems to find that little tricky pass, and he did. And fair play to Bogle, he does chip in with goals. We thought that might happen this season, it has. But yes, it's a good finish, and like you say, Aronson's one of those guys that the manager always seems to pick. He's a clever footballer, and I think we're seeing the best of him at the moment as well. And just see a Bogle, little pass in, and Harrison, that's just awareness of a footballer, knows what he's doing, and then a lovely finish.
Manor Solomon involved again, and Brendan Aronson, who scored a tap-in the previous home game when Altanaka set him up. He almost, when we spoke to him after the game, was like, well, it was just a tap-in. That one, though, it's a great first touch. He's had to hold off the defender as well, and how good's the finish? Yeah,
I think as well, but before we mention that, I just think we're playing at that, everyone's involved. There's 3 or 4 players involved. Then the ball comes in, so composed, right foot, just slots it in the corner. And that's the safest bit of your foot. When you side foot it like that, you can get some good power in it, but it's the most accurate bit of your foot as well.
Brendan Aronson, delighted to do that. Manor Solomon with a second assist there, and of course we'll go on to score the one that eventually just sealed it in beautiful style. And again, talk us through this, because the finish here, he's just blasted it, and it's a beauty.
It's a brilliant finish as well. Give credit to Ampadu as well, who won the ball back and ployed the ball in. And then when it comes in, what can you do there? You're either hitting it high or with loads of pace. That was a bit of both, really, wasn't it? So, brilliant finish. We know this guy's got so much quality. Now we're starting to see it. What we need to see him doing in an away game, like tonight. This is a really big game for him. It's a lovely finish. And when you hit it like that, I just feel like goalkeepers don't like someone who can smash the ball like that. I think sometimes we're too nice for our finishing at times as well. Smash it, put your foot through it. If the goalie has to get one in the face, he does. But put your foot through it, because I just feel like sometimes we're too nice with our finishing. Be angry again with your finishing.
So many players involved in the build-up to those goals, as you were saying, and actually goals coming from different areas of the pitch. All successful teams need that. They can't be reliant on one area, and Leeds are starting to really develop that now. Yeah, we are.
I think, like you say, it's when you have got so many players and everyone wants to play. I just generally think that we look like, in the last game, we looked really playing like a team, proper. I mean, we've had a few games this season where I've seen us play as a team consistently for the 90 minutes. That was one of them. I thought we were very, very consistent. When we made the changes, nothing seemed to alter the way we were playing, the style and noise. And we've got to give the manager credit for that, because that's not an easy thing to do, because you've got to juggle a little bit as well, because everyone will be itching to play. And I just think the manager's in control of that. And you don't see very many managers in the Championship are in control like he is. I just feel he's very stable, very control in what he does, and when he speaks, he's very honest, which I love. I love honesty from the coach, and I think we see that from this manager. OK, let's head back down then to Stoke and get some thoughts ahead of this game from your commentary team from 8 o'clock tonight. As always, Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
We know how important this game is as well, because our away form has to improve. A place like at Stoke, it's difficult, we know that. However, we should be beating teams like this if we want to get promotion.
And we remember still the manner of the defeat here last season, don't we? That can't happen again, please.
No, and that was frustrating as well, wasn't it? Because same again, that we were really comfortable. All we needed to do was lift our levels slightly, and we go and win the game. Instead, we get a penalty. Should have scored, we don't, and we end up losing the game. So those sort of 3-point turnarounds are huge. And at the moment, things are quite tight at the top, so we need 3 points coming our way.
Yeah, Leeds have been waiting while everyone else has been playing. Does that add pressure to the players tonight?
I think it does. You always try not to look at the results, but you always do. But what you have to always realise as well, it's how you do. It's always about you. So we look elsewhere and say, oh, we can go top again, but it's just another game that they need to win. So it's 90 minutes to make sure we beat the opposition.
They have shown a tendency away from home to concede poor goals, really. That would be one thing to iron out tonight, wouldn't it?
First goal, and we talk about that a lot, and I think the first goal is probably maybe too important. We shouldn't be thinking like that, in that if we go a goal down, shouldn't matter, we're good enough to then come back. But I'm with you, can we please get the first goal first? Then I think we'll be absolutely fine.
So there you go. Looking forward to an important game here for Leeds United, and it's cold.
It's a cold Boxing Day night, of course. What else would you expect? December the 26th. The fog is there. It's got all the ingredients, hasn't it, for a tricky away game. It's funny them talking about not looking at results and stuff. Us as fans, we just like scrolling. Refresh. Sheffield United are losing. But of course, the players will be focused very much on this match tonight against the team who I think November the 6th, November the 8th is maybe the last time that they won a game. Yeah. Haven't won in one win in 8, something like that. They're really not in great form. They're very much in terms of the stats a mid-table team. How will they be approaching a Leeds United team who are right up there but haven't got the away form necessarily that they would like?
I think when you're the home team, you have to go for it a little bit, but obviously they'll know the threat that we pose as well. So that, again, like every team when they come to play against Leeds United, they have to have a game plan. If they don't have a game plan against us and we're at it, we go and win the game. So I think it's important from Stoke's point of view that they try and get on the front foot and bring a bit of energy, a bit of noise into the stadium. But again, the Leeds fans bring that, but our players as well. They've got a responsibility, as you have, because we haven't had that great form away. And we have a lot of fans who travel. We know our fans are like away from home. They need something to shout about. They need a good win. And tonight would be a great time because everyone's enjoyed Christmas. They probably had a few beers on the way down, enjoying themselves. But the one thing that rounds that off is the 3 points. Yeah,
absolutely. The football teams have a way of making or breaking your Christmas, don't they? Regardless of the presents to Turkey and the rest of it, it's what your football team does. In terms of Stoke, Tom Cannon up front, 8 goals. Gibson as well. You wanted to talk about Dom. Is this where their threats are going to come from and how they're going to approach things?
Well, obviously, Cannon's a striker, out and out number 9. He knows where the back of the net is. Not being in prolific form this season, but we know if he gets an opportunity, he might take it. So, again, defensively, we've got to be good. And obviously, I think set pieces, we always talk about it, and Gibson's one who will attack it. We've seen him in his Middlesbrough days and other clubs he's been at. He attacks things, so we've got to make sure we're defensive. We're attacking it as well, and both ways as well. I think we've scored a few set pieces as well, which we haven't been doing well before, but now we are scoring a few. So again, they're the ones for me that are going to be key in a away performance for Leeds United. Is defensively be solid, but set pieces in the Championship are absolutely critical.
Stoke is such a funny one away from home as well. I mean, we lost there last year, and it is one of those ones you look at the fixture, and you've had the experience of playing there. Yeah. You know fans and players are, Stoke away. And that was something that came from years ago, and that whole kind of phrase of Stoke away on a, windy Tuesday night or whatever. But it is a thing there. They know that, at home players, there were a lot of Leeds fans looking at this thinking, it's a tricky one.
Honestly, when I was there, mate, it was absolutely freezing. Every time I usually played there as a captain, I'd be winding that other team up before the game kicked off. We were all 6 foot plus, but a massive team. They did not fancy it. They didn't fancy it whatsoever because we were already getting in their faces. We're already going to tell them what's going to happen, basically. Can't be intimidated when you go to a place like Stoke. That's one thing that I don't think we will be, because I think it's obviously a different era. I keep mentioning that because it kind of is. But why not? Why can't we be on the front foot and be a bit intimidating, get in their faces early on? Listen, that's what football's all about. And I've always said this in the football world. Whoever wins the most personal battles within a team wins the game. We've got to make sure we win all them personal battles. And I'm going to keep repeating myself this all season because they are key. Personal battles win you games.
There you go. You heard it here first. Let's hope our boys are the ones who come out on top come 8 o'clock tonight when this match gets underway wherever you're watching in the world. Very welcome here on Matchday Live on LUTV. It is, of course, the festive period, and we've been having a bit of festive art club. So let's see how Josh Gilavogi got on with this. This is one of our players making their own Christmas card featuring 2 other members of the team. Let's hope that the art is slightly better than the last one we saw from Mano Solomon. Bless him, he tried. It wasn't the best. Here's the attempt of Joshua Gilavogi.
Junior Firpo, mi amigo Dan James. They are playing football. Opening present. How many weeks do I have? I will start with the Christmas gift. I have to make like something that is really quick, Yeah. I will try to put some wind in, like it came very, very fast, Yeah! Oh, Junior is bigger. year I did it for Leeds United colours. I tried to draw 2 our players, Dan James and Junior Firpo, opening present for the Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, what do you think? Not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
There you go, Josh Gilavogi giving it his best shot. I think we can see a little close up here. Actually, Dom's got it for you there on the camera. It's one of those things. Yeah, there we go. It's one of those things. You know when your kid brings you home something from nursery and you have to put it on the fridge. You know what I mean? It's not the best, but you feel like you have to. They'll stick to football. I think it's probably the best. He gave it a go.
Yeah,
he gave it a go. That's the main thing.
He did.
I want to talk about the start of this match tonight, Dom, if we can.
Yeah.
I know very serious stuff down there with the card, but on to tonight's match.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Narcis Pallas, the Stoke manager at the moment, 36-year-old young manager.
Yeah.
It was interesting, his press conference this week, he was sort of banging the table, saying what he wants from his team. And one of the main things, he said, I think there's 4 or 5 things he picked out, was a strong start tonight.
Cool.
They're going to try and do that, and we're going to try and do that. Obviously, Daniel Farke will impart that. It's really important that we get the upper hand in this first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, every manager wants a good start. That's football, but it's who wants it most. And obviously, the manager's basically said it, hasn't he? I want my players to go out there and start quick, bring the energy, bring the noise for their own fans, and we've got to do the same. And I generally think we've got better fans. Stoke, sorry, but that's the truth. But listen, it's about who wants it the most. Again, I always talk about that, who wants it the most. And obviously, he's a manager, a young manager with less experience than Daniel Farke. So for him, this will be a scalp for him, because that's how they see it sometimes. I think. Obviously, he's more. Obviously, our gaffer's much more experienced, and that won't bother him. But listen, he'll want to be on the end of a win today. There's no two ways about it. And so will Stoke, because that kickstarts their season again, because they've been struggling, and he's come in to do a job. He's a young manager. He's going to bring different ideas, and let's hope them ideas aren't here in the next half an hour, 45 minutes, because we could struggle.
Okay, let's hear from the manager. You mentioned for Leeds United, Daniel Farke, who's been talking about the team, talking about the away form as well, and focusing on seeing if they can get those points over this festive period.
First of all, it's important that after impressive home game, our supporters are allowed right now to celebrate Christmas in style and also in a good mood after a pretty impressive last home game. But for us, hard work is important. So we have drawn already a line under impressive win against Oxford, and we are right now up also to deliver a good performance and a good result on Boxing Day, because we want to keep going. We know tough games are coming up, and we start with a tough away fixture. As traditionally for us as Leeds United, always a tough away fixture away at Stoke. Obviously, also we won't allow us to rest, so we are also in even on Christmas Eve. We are even there on Christmas Day. Work on the training pitch, work in the meeting room to prepare the lads. We will travel on Christmas Day in order to be there with perfect preparation also for the game. We'll stay also on Christmas Day in the hotel, so sadly no family time for my players and our staff. Thank God it's not this cold, windy Tuesday night in Stoke, so it helps a little bit. It's Boxing Day, but I know I've played there many games. I know also the stadium, and I know it's always difficult fixtures. Also some impressive wins, I have to say, also in former years, but you always have to be on it, because it will be a game. Yeah, they will also use this game more or less like each and every team in their home game against Leeds United. Is always quite often for them, a game when they have nothing to lose, they can go for it. Quite often it's a sold out stadium. It's more or less a game of the season for them. The home crowd is excited against Leeds United, perhaps even a bit more on it than each and every other of their home games. But yeah, we are Leeds United. We have a heavy shot to represent, and we know this, and for that we are used to the situation, and we can't complain and can't search for any excuses or for any help. We have to be on it ourselves, and this is what we're also trying to do at Stoke. We know, and we are respectful, but we don't travel in fear. We know we have to be on it and have to be at our best, but we won't travel in fear, and we know that if we rise our standards again and play to our standards, we have a good chance also to win some points even there.
Daniel Farker talking about the away form there. If you look, Leeds have got 14 points compared to Sheffield United's 22. There is a difference there. The best way to put to bed any talk of this is just to go out there and get these points against Stoke and then this game against Derby, and then it's done and dusted, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. But manager talked about don't play with fear. I totally agree. Just go out there and express yourself, do your jobs properly. I generally believe if we defend properly, we will win every game if we defend properly. I know that's basic in football, but we've got so much quality in that final third.
Classic defender chat.
Sorry, but it is. It's the truth.
Let's hope so. It's a cold, foggy one. Stoke are ready. We're ready. Let's head over to the gantry and your commentators, Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Season's greetings, everybody. Hope you've had a really good Christmas day, but now we must get back to business because there's a lot of football to be played, and it all starts here. Where else would it start?